Hello everyone, myself Dr. Mayank Pratap. I am Assistant Professor in Faculty of Law, Banaras Hindu University. I am very much excited to introduce you on this Swayam platform. Our course name is Understanding Competition Law Theory and Practice. Hi everyone, this course is initiated by the Swayam portal and instructed by me only. In this course, you will be go with the theory and practical aspect of competition law. So today we will begin with this course with first week, first module. This course will have total 8 module which is divided in 8 weeks. Per week we will have 5 lecture each of about 20 to 30 minutes which will take approx 2.5 to 3 hours time. And every week we will take a module having coverage with some topics related to competition law, which is the theoretical aspect, and as well as where required the practical aspect. So today we'll start with first week and this is first lecture. But in this week we will discuss the module 1 and the module 1 will cover what is competition, fair and unfair competition, why is competition law needed and nature of competition law. That means today we'll start with the basic concept of competition, why competition is required and what is the basic meaning of competition. And in this module, that means is this week, we will cover the key concept with meaning, nature and definitional aspect of competition law, the ways of competition, advantage of competition and why competition law is required to regulate the competition, particularly in economic law. Why economic law? Because competition law is basically a part of economic law. And the objective of this module is particular week is to understand the meaning of competition, to understand and discuss the meaning of competitive practices, object of competition law and policy and nature of competition law. So we will begin with lecture number 1 today with the meaning of what is competition. What is competition? Actually, competition is a generic term. It is a very general meaning. If you go through the general meaning of competition, competition generally means an event or any practice where two or more than two rivalries, whether it is people, organization, entity or any entity, which strive for some achievement or for common goal. If you go with the English language simple dictionary, you will find the meaning as competition is an event or a contest in which people fight for supremacy to each other or supremacy for achieving the goal for which they are fighting. There are certain meaning under the dictionary, whether it is Oxford dictionaries or Cambridge dictionary. If we see the Oxford dictionary, the competition generally means the activity or process of competing, a situation in which people, business, entity try to succeed or more successful than others. And under the Cambridge dictionary, means the competition refers a situation where the people, team or organization try to be successful than others. So that competition is basically a market driven process where multiple firm entities or organization strive to outdo each other in offering a better product, whether it is a service or terms or sale of gain or larger market in share. So in the market, competition is taken as a process where firms fight each other in order to secure customer for fair product by adopting any means, fair or unfair. Means competition is just like a situation or competition in a general practice, what we can understand the ordinary meaning of competition where two or more than two people strive to each other for achieving some common goal to shows their superiority, whether it is any game, whether it is any achievement, whether it is any type of competition. Sometimes you can say like whether it is academic competition, the general meaning of competition is same. But what happen if you think it is in perspective of economic law, in a business, in a competition, so that in a business environment, here the situation is basically driven from the market or market economy or market sphere, an environment where market is competition. And in that competitive market, there are several players, sometimes some organization, companies, multinational corporation, single entrepreneurship, there are so many competitors. But the main objective of every entity, how to attract customers, how to attract people towards their business, and how to spend their market. So with these objective, they compete with each other, and while competing with each other, they adopted various means. Sometimes it is a fair means, sometimes it is unfair means. That's why we have concluded the meaning of competition is, in a market, competition is taken as a process where firms fight against each other in order to secure customers for their products by adopting any means. If you go through the key element of competition, what should be the main point or key element of the competition? Competition is generally the event between the rivalries to achieve something against each other. It means there must be a player more than one. Sometimes only two players, they can fight for competing with each other, or more than two for, and the people, they may be a single individual people, they can be any entity, they can be any firm. So that the first key element is multiple firm. That means the presence of multiple firms or entity in a market is essential for competition. Until unless there is no competition, if the element like the multiple firms is absent, that means suppose if there is only person, one entity or one organization, there must be a monopoly rather than any competitive perspective. And the second element which is required, that is rivalry. Suppose two person or two entity or two entity individual, which they are not rivalry with each other, they are not fighting for anything, they are neutral and they are spending at their post perspective, does not means any competition. For competition, there must be a rivalry. The firms compete with each other to gain a large market share. That means there is a motto, there is an object, and to achieve that object, there is a situation of rivalry that is known as competition. So that rivalry is an important aspect. Without rivalry, whatever, there are multiple firms, but if there is no rivalry, there is no fighting, there is no fighting to attract customer or expanding their market, that means there is no competition. So that the second key point is rivalry, which must be included. Third point is, for what purpose? In an ordinary situation, competition takes place in various platforms for various events or various cause. Whatever in academic sense, the students or the competitors are fighting with each other to secure better mark to with other or against other. Sometimes in sports like in a cricket, kusti and anything else, wrestling, they are fighting to compete with each other to achieve, and the achieve is the result, and result is superiority, the medal, whatever the gold medal, whatever the prize, whatever the award, for that they are farming. So that in a market sense, in a competitive environment sense, in an economic law sense, here welfare of customer, which is the ultimate objective. But the rivalry is not basically for providing them the customer, but to attract customer, and for that purpose the better quality or product or services. That means rivalry between the multiple firms to attract the customer, and generally to attract the customer, they have to provide the better quality product or services. That means firms strive to offer better quality product or services to attract consumers. And the term of sale, which is very important, because firms competes on term of sale such as price, discount and other incentives. So that competition is essential for promoting consumer welfare, so that in increasing efficiency. Why consumer and why the welfare of consumer and how to welfare of the consumer. Competition is essential. Why competition is essential? If there is competition, they rivalry for attracting the consumer. To attract the consumer, they will serve with better product, better quality, better services, sometime discounted, sometime in low price with and against to each other. So that the basic element in competition law or competitive environment or in a business or economic law, competition is very much required, and it is very essential for the purpose of promoting consumer welfare, increasing efficiency, encourage innovation. Because if there is competition, that will encourage the competitor to provide better services, and for providing the better services, they have come with the variety, they have come with the essential important point or essential integrated the commodities or goods. That means where they can provide choice and the better choice to the consumer, so the consumer may attract towards their product or services. So that competition is essential for increasing efficiency and encouraging innovation, and by increasing innovation and efficiency and by encouraging innovation between the competitor, it will attract consumer and will get the better consumer welfare, and which is the main objective of the competition law, what will we have to deal with. And the Competition Act aims to promote competition, but what we have already discussed, sometimes the competitor adopted the various means, sometimes fair, sometimes unfair, but the competition law is required to regulate the competition must be with fair, so that it prevent the anti-practices or anti-competitive practices in India. We will deal with in a separate chapter in detail. Here we are only discussing the basic element of and basic definition of competition. So that what are the objectives of competition? If you go through the general meaning of competition, competition means compete with each other or fighting for each other in between the rivals to achieve the common goals. That means the objective of competition is the promote consumer welfare. Actually, the competition promotes the consumer welfare in the mean of competition leads to better quality, product, service, terms of sale, utility, and ultimately beneficial consumers. Actually, it increases efficiency. If you see the competition encourages firm to innovate, reduce cost, and improve productivity. And encourage innovation means competition derives from the firms to invest in research and development, leading to new product, service, and processes. Meaning thereby, the objective of competition under the competition law perspective or business law or economic law perspective is ultimate beneficiary is consumer. How to welfare the consumer, not how to welfare the consumer. Actually the technical meaning of competition is how to attract the customer or consumer towards their product or business and how to expand the market. And it is merely possible and only possible when the competitor provides better service, better product, choices, goods variety, and the varieties to selection and for the purpose of customer, where customer can select as per their choice on reduced price and high quality. So that ultimately welfare is a consumer welfare, but to promote consumer welfare, it is only possible when there are rivalry between the competitor to attract the customer, and to attract the customer, the main tools is providing the better quality to ultimate consumer. By these means, ultimately consumer will be beneficiary. So that the objective of competition law or objective of competition rather particularly is to promote consumer welfare, and with these objective consumer welfare, the competition begin and the competition law regulate this type of competition. And the second important point, how it increase efficiency. What is the meaning of efficiency? Increases efficiency means where competition took place, competition encourages to innovate. Suppose there is a market where only one variety or one type of product or service, people or the customer are obviously they have to take that service, that product or that goods. They have no choice. But suppose if there is competition, so to compete with other entity or firm, one may have to increase their efficiency, and by increasing their efficiency, what they have to do? They have to provide the better services. When it is in terms of price, they may have to reduce cost, or they may have to provide the better quality and product at the same cost on which the other competitor or organization or firm is providing, and to improve the productivity as per the demand of market. And the thing which innovation, which is the very demanding aspect and which is very important aspect of competition, it encourage innovation. Why and how it encourage innovation? Because competition derives firm to invest in research and development, leading to new product, service and process. Suppose there is a manufacturer or there is a firm producer of a car, and they produced a car, a simple car, that is a four-wheeler having only one color, that is, suppose that the firm Mr. A or a firm entity A is producing a four-wheeler white car, and people who are in need to take car, they may have to the same car. That means they have to purchase the same car what is available and what price that are available in market. Suppose there is an other competitor comes in market or entry in market, he have to struggle with already existing the service provider, that means competitor who is providing the car in the market. What he can do? He may reduce the cost. Sometimes it happens by reducing the cost may dilute the quality, and if he dilute the quality, it may affect the business. So that what may be other tools or what may be the other ways to come into the market and struggle and strive to achieve the better, he may start selling the other colorful car. Suppose the entity who was already in market providing the white color car, and second entity who comes in the market and providing the red, the blue, that means there are so many choices, whatever choices in terms of color people will attract. If they are getting the same price, the same car in a different color, definitely they will go with that. So that without reducing the price or compromising with quality, just by an innovation, the second competitor who comes late and have to struggle have achieve the better, that means in terms of attracting the customer and spending in the market. So that the competition's objective of the competition is promote consumer welfare, increase efficiency and encourage innovation. If we see the advantages of competition, what are the advantages of competition? If you see, the competition actually derives firms to become more efficient and to offer a better choice of product at lower price, because of the fear that only the fittest will survive, what we are already we have discussed in terms of selling the car in a variety, so that the greater choice of product at lower price. If the lower price, because of the fear the only fittest will survive, this ensure best possible utilization of available resources. Since consumers' purchasing power is increasing as a result of lower price, if the price become lower, the power of purchasing will increase, and if the power of purchasing will increase, they will attract to purchase more and more. So if you take an example, if a person used to buy a battery cell or a candle for ₹8 each, if he purchase on ₹8 each, but due to competition, if the price have become slow down or go down and to ₹5, that poor fellow may save ₹3, which he uses to buy something else. That means it does not mean he is for the purpose of saving. This is the human nature, and this is the economic law, and this is the economy, and this is the economic environment from the perspective of customer. Customer who have money in pocket, he might be spent so that competition will be for better practices and for welfare of person and consumer, and as well as it will give a wider perspective and bigger vibration and spectrum to the market, because purchasing power of customer will give a vibrant aspect to the economy. If we see the types of competition, there are so many types of competition. What is, if you see with the economic perspective, there is a perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopolistic competition, and monopoly. So let us start with the perfect competition. What is perfect competition? Perfect competition is actually a market structure which is characterized by the many firm offering homogeneous product, free entry and free exit. No single firm has significant market power. Firms are price taker, where the firms not price makers, and where the complete information available to all market participants. That means perfect competition is a market structure characterized by the complete absence of rivalry among firms. In such a market, numerous buyers and sellers exist, but no single entity is powerful enough to dictate the price of goods and services. Instead, prices are determined purely by the forces of supply and demand. The product offered by different sellers are identical, making consumer indifferent to the choice of supplier. Means perfect competition is an ideal scenario. Basically, this is like just to impossible, but nearly it is the possible. We can see in a practical aspect that a vegetable market where numbers of the persons are sellers are available for the same veggies. So that if you see the characteristics of the perfect competition, there must be many firms. That means the presence of more and more entity firm or people who are willing or who are offering to homogeneous product. There is free entry, free exit. How free entry and free exit? Because there is a larger market where there are so many people are available, there are so many entity sellers are available, so one cannot push the impact on market on the economy, so that is like one may entry anytime or one may take exit at any time, where no single firm has significant market power, because the absence of significant market power, he cannot influence the other. And firms are price taker. What price are offered by the customer? That means not price maker, because the absence of monopoly, they have no significant market power, they cannot itself make the price taker. So the situation where complete information available to all market participant. So this is actually the ideal situation what we can imagine, and generally it not happen, and it is not, we cannot say that is not possible. That is may a possibility, there is a possibility, and we have already go with the illustration that is like the veggie market or vegetable market. That is not perfect competition, but nearly to perfect competition, we can take it as an example. And again, if we go forward with the other aspect, that is monopolistic competition. What is monopolistic competition? Monopolistic competition is basically the market characterized by many firms and offering different product, where free entry and exit. For example, fast food delivery like McDonald's, Burger King, KFC already. That means it is a kind of market structure where many firms are present to save similar but not identical product. And here each firms can hold some degree of market power. So this is type of monopolistic competition. And if we see the other aspect like oligopoly competition and monopolistic competition, oligopoly competition is where the market structure, a small number of product work to restrict output or fix price, so they can achieve above normal market return, and in the monopoly competition, it is a market structure with a single seller or producer that assumed a dominant position in industry or a sector. That means monopolies are discouraged in free market economy, and definitely the Competition Act in India aims to promote competition and prevent anti-competitive practices. Again, if we go with the competition and competition policy, what is competition policy? We will have discuss it another lecture, but as a general perspective, the competition policy actually refers the law, regulation and guidelines that govern the behavior of business and promote competition in market economy. So that the primary goal of competition policy is ensure the market operate efficiently, innovative and provide consumer with a wide range of choice. So we will discuss in another lecture, but for the sake of the general perspective, it is a policy, that is the government policy, that help to maintain the level of competition, and the basic objective with promote competition, prevent anti-competitive practices, protect consumer interests and foster economic growth. So with this, what we have learned today is the general meaning of competition, what is the meaning of competition, and we will take the other aspect of competition, what we have already discussed, that competition means a rivalry between firms to achieve the common goal, but what the way and what are the ways why they are promoting competition or they are fighting with each other. Sometimes they adopted some fair means and sometimes they adopted unfair means. So thank you for today. In other lecture, we will have discussion with the fair and unfair competition. So for today, thank you very much.